Hello, hello, Fit and Chips people here on Facebook Live. Welcome to Fit and Chips Chats this week with me, your host Amanda Thebe. So I am just going to hang on one moment, as I know a few people are going to jump onto this session. So I am just going to hang on for now. Okay, so I have been receiving a lot of questions about strength training over 40 on my forum and here on Fit and Chips, and also on some of the articles that I have written. So let me pull up some of the articles. Okay, some of the questions. So really the first thing I want to talk to you about is strength training in women over 40 and why it is so important. Okay, so one of the questions I was asked is, why do women over 40 need to do strength training? Like, why can't they just continue doing their cardio? What is the purpose? And so talking about strength training is a bit of a passion of mine, and so I'm going to try and just keep to the topic, because I know chances are I'm going to get distracted. Okay, so this is going to be a 5-part answer, but it's pretty straightforward. So let's just think about it. So I say over 40, but just say you're a woman between the ages of 35 and 55. That's sort of the bulk of women that go to the gym. That's like the main general population. So what do we know about women during this time? Well, we know that after the age of 30, that our body mass, our muscle mass, starts to decline. And it starts to decline at approximately 3 to 5% each year, right? So you're fighting the signs of aging. That's like just one of those things, right? You're fighting the signs of aging. So before we even go into anything else, know that if you're during this age group between, say, 30 onwards, but I'm speaking to my 35 to 55-year-old ladies, then you know that you're fighting muscle mass declining. Right, so what else is happening? You're potentially going through some hormonal fluctuations, some hormonal changes, and I'm not going to speak on that today, but you need to know that that also will impact your ability to build lean muscle mass. So we know that as we age, chances are we're going to maybe gain more fat and lose muscle mass. And so building lean muscle in our bodies through strength work is basically an essential requirement to keep on top of the amount of lean muscle mass we have. Lean muscle mass is used to support us and stabilize us. So that's the first one anyway. So we need to talk about just the fact that we're going to be going into this aging process, and we need to do anything we can do in a positive way to future-proof us, okay? The second thing, and I think that this is the thing I'm going to touch on most of all, is if you build lean muscle in your body, it is metabolically active. And by metabolically active, I mean if I had a lump of muscle here and a lump of fat here, the muscle is going to be more metabolically active than the fat. The fat doesn't need much energy to make it work. So how can I word this? So when you have muscles, the nutrients and all of the goodness from your food will go running to the muscle to help build it, keep it thriving. So it's metabolically demanding. Fat, muscle, okay? Fat, muscle. Just remember that. So by building lean muscle, what you're doing is you're boosting your metabolism. So 1, we're fighting aging. 2, we're boosting our metabolism. So you've got 2 reasons to do strength training already. Okay. Hi to the people that are coming online. I'm looking down at my laptop here. If you've got any questions as I'm chatting away, just pop them in the messages below. Okay. Number 3. As we age, women especially, and some men, but I just know that my expertise is with women. we need to have a sense of empowerment from a body positivity stance and from a self-esteem stance. We need to feel important, we need to feel capable, and we need to feel strong. So one of the byproducts of building lean muscle is the endorphins that happen, the dopamine rush. And after you've worked out with weights, the byproduct after that workout is quite empowering. It's very empowering. Just the rush of all of those good hormones are in your body. So it's just one of those feel-good activities you can do just to boost your self-esteem. And there's something really great about feeling strong. Like, as a woman, as you age, being strong and capable is like a gift. So don't look that gift in the mouth, right? Just don't look that gift horse in the mouth. But be really mindful that as well as working your body, you're working your mind. The whole body-mind connection from strength training is huge, okay? So we're anti-aging. We're bulletproofing ourselves for the future by building lean muscle. We are boosting our metabolism, probably the number one thing that we need to be looking at as we age, because it's harder to lose weight. Fact. We feel good, we're feeling good, we're feeling strong, we're feeling empowered, especially important for women over 40, especially during menopause when we feel isolated and alone and it's really difficult to get what the heck's going on. I've had to write this down because I can't remember everything I wrote and everything I wanted to say. So going back to point number 2, lean muscle being metabolically active, lean muscle tends to be smaller, it's dense. So what can happen is, rather than you losing weight, you can actually change body composition. And which is why a lot of us trainers are now trying to get our clients away from just the scale and focusing on how we change in our shape. It can be done by measurements, it can be done by body fat analysis tools. But basically, as you build lean muscle, you will be changing the body composition and changing your shape and probably dropping dress sizes and trouser sizes. So the impact that strength training can have on your overall look and shape, if that's something that you are interested in aesthetically, is huge, right? So you're not going to get that from any other type of exercise. Injury prevention. If you have a nice strong body supporting your joints and supporting your organs and your spine, chances are you're going to prevent injury. Not with the organs, but with the joints. So yeah, if you have a strong core, a reflexive core, you have active joints, and you're building up lean muscle mass, you're going to be helping yourself for injury prevention moving forward. Okay, and last of all, just your overall health. I mean, the idea of being sick all the time and the idea of like preventing disease and preventing any future problems as we age is normally on our minds as we enter our 40s into our 50s. So exercise becomes more than just something to make us look good naked. It's also something that can help us feel and act and look and be a better person. So if you know that by building up lean muscle you're going to be preventing diabetes 2, cardiovascular issues, osteoporosis in women, if you're already supporting your body moving forward, then what more can you ask for from exercise? So now we have 5 reasons why strength training is important and building lean muscle is important. Okay, so now that we've got the groundwork down there, now that we've spoken about the groundwork, the next question actually leads perfectly into a segue for me. So I often will get asked by women, they will say things like, I don't want to get big and bulky. There's nothing wrong with being big and bulky, by the way. I have absolutely no judgment, no comment on that, because most of the people that I associate with are strong, powerful women, and we come in all different shapes and sizes, and so the aesthetic looks of people is not of my concern as we speak right now. But there are women out there that really are worried about becoming big and heavy, too muscular, and so there's a few comments here, right? So what we're talking about is hypertrophy. Now, hypertrophy is a word that gets thrown around the fitness world, and if you aren't aware of what that term means, I think it's been abused in a way to appear to be something that makes muscles very big and very large and aesthetic. So think of bodybuilders, right? But that's not what hypertrophy means. I've actually got the definition here. And so hypertrophy is literally just, I'm going to just read it word for word, the changing of the shape and function and the strength of your muscle. So if you do not have any muscle mass and you're trying to build lean muscle, and I've told you the reasons already why you need to do that, hypertrophy is the way to make that work. Now, if you're a woman with excess testosterone and are taking steroids and hormonal boosting substances to grow your muscles, you may get big. But for 99.99999% of us, you will not get bulky, building up lean muscle. Okay, so hypertrophy means to change the function and the shape and the strength of a muscle, right? For example, you can't see what I look like here because I'm in a big baggy top, but I'm not a very big person, and I am strong, and I'm muscular, and I'm strong, but I'm not big, right? And so it doesn't, I think that we've lost the translation of what hypertrophy really means. And so when we see all of these adverts out there for building long, lean muscles, and we do it with our teeny tiny 5-pound weights, it's a falsehood, it's a myth. It's not actually how physiologically the muscles operate and work and grow. So in order to obtain hypertrophy, so in order to change the function of your muscle, we have to do a number of things, of which I'm going to talk about. But you can't change the length of your muscle. So when you see an advert saying it's going to get long, lean muscles, I would love to know how, from a science-backed standpoint, you're going to lengthen your muscles. I mean, you can stretch and activate your muscles and let them become more pliable and flexible, but that's like taking a piece of gum and pulling it and manipulating it. It really doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Okay, so here's the thing though, hypertrophy isn't for bodybuilders. Most people in life need it. Most people in the general population need to change the shape, function, and strength of their muscles. So that's the first thing. Remember, hypertrophy boosts your fat loss because it changes it can help shift your metabolism and boost it if it's got a bit sluggish. So we've got a fat loss component there if that's one of your nutritional goals, or that's one of your goals in life. Okay, injury prevention, right? So it's all the same thing, right? You can see how I'm repeating myself because it really is the same thing. So let's talk about what hypertrophy means and how it would look to you if you were training. So if we look at a specific workout, and we're looking at a hypertrophy workout, the sort of number of reps that you need to be looking at, I'm just trying to find a workout I can just share with you, is probably in the 10 to 12 rep range. Okay, and you want to be working all the essential movements of the body in a joint by joint fashion. So when I say joint by joint, I don't mean standing there doing bicep curls. What bicep curls will do is build your biceps, and from an aesthetic goal, if you really want big biceps, then that's the way to go. But from a functional goal, so you've got functional strength, the way to make this happen is doing joint by joint. So just think about a push-up, for example, is a multi-joint exercise, okay? You can see that it's a multi-joint exercise, right? And it uses the whole body to make that happen. A squat is a multi-joint exercise. So that's the type of exercises that I am referring to. In a 10 to 12 rep range, using essential muscle movements, essential body movements are going to be things that use our hips, so they're hip dominant, use our knee dominant. So hip dominant, think kettlebell swing or a deadlift. Knee dominant, think a squat or a lunge. Okay, then you've got pushing and pulling. We do them every day in life. We push and pull. It can be up and down. It can be vertical. It can be horizontal. So you've got push pull. You have anything that's core functioning. And by core, I'm talking about shoulders to hips, front and back, the whole thing, the whole system. And within the core, we've got lots of different elements. I'm not going to linger on those. And then the last thing is explosive movements. Think about a jump squat with a dumbbell right here in a kettlebell, in a goblet squat. So this is basically what we're talking about with hypertrophy. Something in the range of 10 to 12 movements of each of those essential groups. The period of time is probably going to be 25 to 30 minutes, and it needs to be it needs to help the muscles achieve overload. And overload is one of those words that means nothing to the general public. So an analysis I'm going to use, which is from my mentor, coach Dos Remedios, is he says you have a bucket, and this bucket is your work capacity. And what you want to do is try and fill that work capacity up. So by lifting heavy enough, and doing enough reps of all of the essential movements, you're filling this work capacity bucket up, and that's what we're trying to achieve. So you're trying to push yourself just far enough that you can achieve those things. And I am guaranteeing you that you will, one, look and feel so much better, but you're just doing so much more than that for your overall health and wellness. And I'll sing about this from the rooftops for as long as I can, but know that this is something it's hugely important in your life, in a man and woman's life. And as far as women going through menopause, if you boost your metabolism, you're improving your immune system, your stress levels are regulated, if your cortisol levels are down, all of these things are going to help you through that challenging period of your life too. So know that the knock-on effect of just doing a workout is huge. It's huge. How often? So how often? We're talking 2 to 3 times a week. I personally do 4. I also interchange this with some low intensity exercises, some mindfulness. By mindfulness, I haven't turned into some raging hippie here. I mean, I sit quietly with my coffee by the pool in this condo with a book, read, and just have some me time, some quiet time, and the whole thing helps come together quite well. If you do strength training, if strength training is something that's super important to you now that I've persuaded you, and now that I've told you have to do it, you need to make sure that your body can adequately recover. And by that, I mean that if you're working for hypertrophy, the physiological thing that happens is the muscle fibers slowly tear. You're looking for this action to happen. And so restoration happens when these knit back together. And they build each time you do that. So this is the sort of movement that we're doing, okay? Now that happens through adequate nutrition and then adequate rest. And adequate rest means that you don't train back to back to back to back to back. It really isn't essential, and it's not the best thing for your body. Chances are you're going to overstress your body, potentially injure yourself. So I like to do a day on and a day off. I actually have no problem doing one back-to-back day during the week, because the following day I tend to have a really big recovery and just go for a long walk or a hike or something. So just plan and going to this knowing what your action is. Okay. Another thing that I had a question about, I'm just going to scroll through my questions now, is what are the different components about setting up a program, a fitness program? And it's too big an answer to have on a Facebook Live, but what I can do is give you some strategies for looking at how you would build a workout program, and just make sure that these are covered when you do that. So normally our goals are, or our emphasis on writing a program, a fitness program, a strength program, is one for fat loss, if that's your goal. It usually tends to be, in most of the times, a fat loss goal and a hypertrophy goal, right? So remember, they come hand in hand. And also performance training. So the way I look at performance training is, I mean, you can consider yourself an athlete, and if you have a sport outside of training in the gym that you are working towards, be it like a team sport like football or soccer, or whether you're a runner or you play recreational tennis, you need to bear in mind that you need to sort of have a little bit of a focus on that. So performance comes in the area of agility, mobility, and that can all be combined within the workout as well. In addition to that, we need to look at different components. So we need to look at the load that you're using, the speed of the exercise, and the duration. Okay, so they're all elements we need to take into account. And then last of all, discomfort. It's okay to experience some level of discomfort. And I think that if you go to the gym and you work out and you feel as though that was easy and you didn't feel the workout and it wasn't hard enough, then it's down to you. The chances are you didn't push yourself hard enough and you didn't work hard enough. When you leave the gym, you should feel like you've worked hard. Now, I'm not talking about working to the point of exhaustion and being sick. I don't think anybody ever got better from puking after a workout. In fact, it can have we know for a fact it can have a detrimental effect on you. So reaching, and an analogy that I like to use with my clients is, if I've given you a 10 to 12 rep range, how do you know you've worked hard enough? Well, in that 10 to 12 rep range, if you can do 15 reps, if at 12 you can still keep going and go to 15 reps, you haven't lifted heavy enough. Okay? So if you get to about 8 reps in the range and you've got to really push those last 4 out, that's hard enough. Alternatively, if at the other end, if you are doing the workout and I've given you 10 to 12 reps to do and then you're only getting 5 out, chances are it's too heavy. So you've got to find that unique place for you where that discomfort, overload place happens, and that's sort of where the magic occurs. Okay, and basically all of that put together will equal total fitness. So just start looking at total fitness as a bigger thing than just going to the gym. It impacts your life in so many positive ways. It can also impact that of your family as well, because of the knock-on effects of your good mood, your boosted mood, your ability to still play with your kids, to still be active, to still socialize, and in a way that gives you that renewed energy. And that's it, really. There were the 3 questions I had. I didn't get any more questions on the Facebook Live. But yeah, if ever you do have any questions, you know that you can reach me on my Fit and Chips Facebook page anytime. You can go to my website at fitandchips.com, fitnchips.com. I have lots of articles there, and you can also contact me through there. And in addition to that, I have just released today my next podcast episode, and it ties in nicely with the Facebook Live today because I interviewed nutrition expert Josh Hillis. He is the author of Fat Loss Happens on Monday, and that title makes me laugh because how often on a Monday do we turn around and say, okay, this is it today, I'm going to do it today. Well, he talks about the psychology behind that, but he also gives you in this podcast, some really, really useful tools and strategies for reaching your goal. The link for that is within this post, so you can just click onto the link. It'll take you to my website where all my podcasts are listed. If you've got any questions about this Facebook Live episode today, please, if you need any clarifications, I did try and keep on point, but I'm a little bit of a Tommy tangent and I like to chat, so if there's anything that didn't make sense to you, please let me know. I'm going to start pulling this together in a more formal way because in January I will be releasing my coaching program. It's a 6-month coaching program. It starts on January the 1st. I'm just giving you the heads up because it will be coming. It's a full component of nutrition, of exercise, workouts that are structured and planned for the whole of the 6 months. So actually the program with just the workouts is amazing, but I give you the nutritional components. I have a psychologist on board to help with mindset, body acceptance, and just reframing your life and helping you move forward. So anyway, that was it. Thank you for tuning in. Please feel free to rewatch. I'll be posting this live on my wall again, and I'll happily answer any questions. So thank you so much for tuning in. Take care, guys. Bye.